Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. If you love toys as much as I love toys, you're going to love this segment. Department of Ag, Trade, Consumer Protection. Michelle, she is back. And today we're going to be talking about toy safety as we work through the holiday season. We have a lot of topics that we could go through, but toy safety is an interesting one because the toys, they get a little bit more fancy, a little bit more parts, a little bit more interesting in the safety spectrum. But also, if I always think of the regifting part of toys too, so set that off to the side too. Like, we'll ask that question. But as people go out, we're not want to scare anybody, but we want you to be able to spot some easy things as you're in the store. So if you're looking at prospective toy purchasing, or you've already purchased some of your toys and you're like, hey, how can I make sure these are legit, or some things to look for? Where do you start?
Yeah, well, so first you decide who am I buying for? You create the list, and you need to think about their age and their household aspect of it.
Age and household.
We want playtime to be totally entertaining, learning, and fun. And so that means we have to pay attention to some labeling on toys. That's the first step. Pay attention to the labels that are on the toys that you are looking at selecting this holiday season. The first label is an age grading label. And we have some samples on the table here that just have some age grading on them that come in different forms. This one we had looked at ahead of time, and now I can't find it, but there's a warning at the bottom that talks about choking. And that is going to tell you that that's not meant for someone that's under 3 years old, maybe not under 5, because it's going to have small parts that can be a choking hazard.
This one had it crossed out. It says 0 to 3 and it's crossed out. And we'll of course zoom in on this, but they're not all made alike, but you clearly get the sense okay, there's an age of them.
And I think this one may have had the 8+ on the front. So it's meant for someone over the age of 8. And this is really about the development, the development of the child, not the mental, how smart my child is and how great they are, but the developmental, and if they are appropriate that way, their motor skills development, that behaviors, and those potential hazards. So age grading. The next label that you want to look for is about the testing aspect. So many toys are tested before they go to market according to industry standards, and those are ASTM International is the testing organization, or Underwriters Laboratory. That's UL. We often see that on electrical power cords.
You would only think that, but it's not just limited to that, which is surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. UL tests for flammability, toxicity, electrical and heating element hazards. So usually you'll see it, think back, easy bake oven. It's got a heating element, it's got an electrical element. So you're going to see age grading that's higher on that toy. You're going to see the UL label on that toy. And if you're not, is it a counterfeit, or how's it come in? But these are things you want to look for in examining the toy.
I'm just stuck on that easy bake oven. I think that thing is amazing. But more or less, you want to definitely look at those pieces. Where would you find those resources, the ones that you were just referencing, if people are like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember what Michelle just said? How can they find these different sites and labels?
Well, you can go to DATCP. We do have a fact sheet about toy safety that you can look at and help be a reminder. So datcp.wi.gov on our website. You can also go to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission. They're our national consumer product safety organization that's there, and they work with the standards organizations. So that's cpsc.gov. The agency initials. They'll have tons of information that you can look at as well about all the different labels that are out there.
All right, and finally the used toys, pre-owned toys. It gets a little bit more tricky there, but if you are considering, maybe you went to an antique store and you're like, oh my gosh, I just know they're going to love this. But there could be some extra things to it that you just don't know. Yeah,
secondhand, pre-owned, used, donating to charity, all things we need to consider. And there, often the box is going to be discarded. And the toy inside doesn't usually have these labels on it. And so you need to ask yourself some questions. Okay, who am I giving this to? A small child? Can the parts, does it disassemble? Are there small parts? Do they fit through a toilet paper tube? Roll is one tool you can just carry with you. Think about magnets. small button cell batteries. Those are incredibly hazardous for children if they end up being swallowed. And so we need to make sure that they don't have access to those types of parts. And then, is it old, vintage, wonderful, but it has paint that's chipping? Could that be a lead paint hazard? Again, if it has a cord, is the cord exposing wires? Are there cracks in it because it's so old it doesn't really bend anymore? Fabric, that can be a suffocation hazard, that could be a flammability hazard. So you have to do this examination for yourself.
All right. Well, again, I put this out there that there are resources out there for you, and a great place to start is at your website because you have all the links. You connect everybody to where they need to be. But if you have questions or concerns about a specific product, how can people reach you? And then, more importantly, if they need to report something that is hazardous, because maybe we just discovered on a new toy there is. What do we do?
I'm going to give you 3 different contacts. One is for recalls. Check the toy before you wrap it and after you unwrap it for recalls, and that is saferproducts.gov. You can reach us to file that complaint or get this information at datcp.wi.gov or call the hotline at 800-422-7128.
Toys are fun.
Toys are meant to be fun. This is all meant to be fun.
So, definitely check it out as you're out there making those purchases. Or if you've already purchased, you can go back and inspect it, make sure that it's okay. And if it's not, return it, start over again.
Yeah, and I want to say one last thing. Make it a complete package. If you're giving a toy that could use some safety gear, like a bike or a scooter, don't forget the helmet. Let's make sure it's a great time.
Bonus tip from our friend Michelle at DATCP. I appreciate it, and happy holidays to you and your staff. Thank you so much.
Thanks.